And we are live.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Tim Terranova, the proud superintendent of the Victor Central School District. And tonight, welcome to our January town hall. And we have two groups of special guests. Our first group is sitting in front of you right now. It's the amazing Devil Tech Robotics, first robotics team from Victor Central. Members of that team, I will interview and talk to them in about 30 seconds. And then when we're done with the robotics team, have an opportunity to talk to some leadership from our student athletic group, 3 student athletes who went to an amazing conference to learn about leadership. We're going to talk to them a little bit about what they learned and how they apply that leadership in school. Then I'll have a couple announcements at the end. But first and foremost, excited to have the robotics team here. If you could just go around the group. If you notice, they're all in one spot because they're in the middle of practice at our high school, so I won't keep them that long. But maybe start, Maddie, we'll start with you and just kind of go around the group and introduce yourself and what grade you're in.
So hi, I'm Maddie and I'm a senior this year.
Hi, I'm Tejas. I'm a freshman this year.
Hello, I'm Xander. I'm a senior.
Hello, I'm John and I'm a sophomore. I'm Kyle Holtz. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Kyle and I'm a senior.
And all right, how many, and anybody can talk at this point, and then I'll kind of go around. How many kids are in first robotics right now? And it's only 9th through 12th grade, correct? 8th graders can't be a part of it, my understanding.
We have a bunch of different programs, so we actually go all the way from 2nd grade to senior year. But it's not like
Right.
The 2nd graders are not building like the robots that we're building.
So the Devil Tech is the entire group, right?
Devil Tech is the first robotics competition that we're on for the high school.
How many high school kids are on the robotics team approximately?
About 30.
30. Yeah, it's a huge group. So maybe we just go around the group. Anybody can start. What made you interested in robotics, and when did you get started? Either at the younger ages, or did you start in 9th grade? Anybody can start.
I know I started back in 2nd grade. I was the very first Lego League is where I started, and I kept going all the way up every single year. This is actually my first year doing FRC. I did 2 years of FTC. I thought I would specialize in that. Decided I didn't really want to. I ended up moving up to here. I love the whole program. I think first as a organization is really great. They do a lot of great things, especially for STEM. But even beyond that, like our business team, I wish we had more people on it, but it's really great, the opportunities that it can provide and the experiences it can give.
Awesome. Thank you.
Coming from the opposite side of the boat, I joined my sophomore year, right when we came back from COVID. I was recruited by a friend, and I've loved every moment ever since. The program is really, really captured my attention. I don't know, it's something about it. We like to describe the program as a startup business almost, because we have to raise the money for ourselves and we have to deliver a product within a very tight deadline. This year, our deadline is no more than 7 weeks. And it's a really difficult process to get all of that up and running in such a short time frame. And we have to manage ourselves. We have to manage our leadership, communication amongst the different groups working on different areas, whether that's working directly on the robot or in more of a management role, as Kyle mentioned.
Thanks, Xander.
I started robotics in 5th grade doing FLL. I did it all the way up until 8th grade. I took a break during the COVID year, but I also came back sophomore year for FRC. Because I had taken DDP at school, and that had made me start doing CAD, which made me want to join the team so I could do more of that. And so I've done more manufacturing things like as I've continued here. So I started doing CAD, 3D printing, a little bit of manufacturing with like welding and stuff like that, which I think is fun.
That's amazing. What? Tell me again, Maddie, what you started when? In junior high?
I started in 5th grade, but I took a break freshman year because of COVID, and I came back sophomore year.
Great. Thank you.
So I, like Xander, I was recruited onto this team by a close friend. And I admit I was apprehensive about joining at first. However, just the climate that was offered by this team absolutely captivated me. The idea of creating something from the ground up is so inspiring to me, and it has led me to just stay on this team, and I will stay on this team for the foreseeable time I'm in high school.
Awesome, Kyle.
John.
John, sorry, that was John. Kyle went first. John, you got a great, John, are you in the chorus by any chance?
No, I'm not. I'm in band though.
You got a great, what is that? Baritone, I think, voice?
I've heard that
I
before.
can't believe nobody's recruited you yet.
People have tried.
All right, just checking. Okay. Paul, you want to go next?
Sure. So I joined FLL fourth and fifth grade. And it sparked my interest in like programming a little robot. And so I did more coding things while I took a break from first programs. And as I was watching my brother grow up in the high school team, I loved it so much. And it was really a good opportunity for me to develop my technology skills more. So I joined as a freshman during COVID year. And just I've had a great experience here with the support system, making friends here, and learning so many more skills that I can use in the future.
And you and Maddie in this group are the only seniors, correct?
Xander's also
Xander's
senior.
also senior.
I forgot. Xander, I'm sorry about that. My fault. Thank you, Pyle.
So
Tejas,
I joined in 5th grade, but then I took a break around 7th grade, and then I joined back this year because some of my teachers last year that I had for math recommended this for me, and I couldn't join it in 8th grade because it was too late. So then I decided to join this year, and so far I really like it.
now, Tejas, did you join by yourself? Like, did you have other freshmen that joined with you that you knew, or did you kind of just go on a
There's
whim
some
and
other
do it?
freshmen on the team, but we didn't like join together. I kind of found this on my own with some of my teachers' help.
That's awesome. And wait a minute. So did you say you start, and you did start when you were younger, though?
Yeah, I started in 5th grade, but then I didn't do it in 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, I like the fact that a lot of you started when you were young, and that's an incredible program that we still offer. And you know who helps out with that in an amazing way is our PTSA. So they do an amazing job, and we need to continue to work with them because we've got hundreds of kids, as you've probably seen, throughout the week and on weekends doing this stuff at all the way down from second grade all the way up through the junior high. And we need to keep that going. But then a couple of you, I think it was Xander actually, you didn't start until high school, right?
I didn't start until high school either.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool that you can start. There's a spot for everybody, no matter where you want to start. So that's awesome. All right. So tell everybody a little bit about what a competition, like what do you have to do to be successful in a robotics competition? Maybe start, a couple of you can talk about it. And I guess that's one question. The second one is like, how many competitions during the season are there?
Well, everything starts with kickoff, which is right at the beginning of January. At that point, they release all of the game rules. And then we have to begin immediately designing our strategy and our robot to accommodate whatever challenge they've set out for us. And at that point, we have to start building the robot almost right then. We're designing it, and we have those designs done within a week or two. Immediately going straight into manufacturing and then eventually programming it for our competitions, which are late February to early March.
How many competitions are there?
We're going to 2 this year. We're going to 1 in Pittsburgh, and we're going to the Finger Lakes Regional, which is at RIT.
And if we win either one of those, we get to go to the world competition in Texas.
So what's the difference? Okay, so what's the first stage? The first stage, you've got to figure out what the competition actually entails you to do, right? They tell you that in early January, what you have to do. Then you got to go ahead.
Continue. So they release a video the first Saturday in January, and all around the world, people join up and watch it. Our team watched it here at the school, and then yeah, just go right into brainstorming after that.
And then what's the manufacturing and the programming? Talk a little bit about that.
So there are multiple subsystems. Like, for example, this year we have a chassis, a shooter, and a climber that all have parts in the task to complete. And so throughout the month of January, we all integrate our designs to build this complete robot. And in February, we are sending the robot to the software team to program the robot to do hands off, like the non-controller systems that would be during the competition.
What's the, again, so this year's competition, what do you have to do? What's it have to do, the robot?
So it has a music theme. So everything is like vaguely music themed. So we're shooting rings that are called notes into either a speaker or an amplifier. So those are just two different targets. And our robot has to be able to climb onto a chain and hang. So it cannot, no part of that robot can be touching the ground. It all has to be supported by the climber and the chain.
It's gonna play music during the thing too?
Optional, but
Would be cool.
yes.
Okay, you gotta think about that. That sounds pretty tough. The last one well, I don't know if it was last year's or 2 years. What was the one where you shot basketballs?
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
so
What was last year then?
last year was the traffic cones and the purple cubes.
Okay. All right, I got it. And then how do you figure out who like does different parts during the competition? Do you have to figure that out yourselves, or is that just based upon skill? How does that work?
So before the season starts, we're already training new members in areas like manufacturing, CAD, 3D printing, programming, and business. Once the season comes, we are going right into it. People generally know where they're useful and where they want to be, and they tend to work on that subsystem or in that particular area. During the competition, we will select our top performers to be on what we call the drive team, the people that actually go and compete on the field, and to help in the pit crew, which is the behind the scenes team that fixes the robot after every match whenever something breaks down. And even beyond that, we have people in the stands who are collecting data on matches, which we call scouting, and just generally cheering us on. Everybody's got a part.
It's a true team.
Yeah.
Yes.
True team. That's what's amazing about it. How many advisors? I got Mr. Guideson and his wife, right?
Yes. And our other head coach is Elena. So those are the head coaches, but we also have tons of mentors, all volunteers, who will donate their time to help us, like, guide us through the process. And the cool part about that is that they don't tell us what to do. They'll offer suggestions if they think that we need like a push in the right direction, but they let us do the robot. But they're there to advise. And
what's great about, go ahead, sorry.
Vast majority of them are professionals in their field. It's not like there's some random Joe off the block. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're constantly guiding us through the process, helping to correct our mistakes, but also allowing us to make our mistakes so that we learn.
Yeah, and I was going to say, those are great people, and I've seen it already in my 4 years that I've been here. They stay connected with a lot of the kids who are in robotics when they graduate from high school. So you have a lot of people there that you have connections with, depending on whatever area you're interested in going in after high school. That's an amazing group of mentors to have. So that's fantastic. All right, so a couple more questions. And you guys can go around the group to say this one. What's your favorite thing about robotics? Each of you kind of respond to that.
I'm gonna have to say my favorite thing is how really interdependent the team is, right? Because if one subsystem can't get it going, the whole robot can't stop. And so it's kind of a forced togetherness of the whole team. Like it's work together or there's no point in working at all. So it makes like a really organic kind of chemistry with everybody. where you have to work together and teamwork is absolutely part of the equation.
And yet at the same time, if any one individual group is falling behind, the rest of us are there to support their endeavor, make sure that they meet their deadlines.
And to contrast Xander and Kyle's point, even though we all have to work together as a team and we have to have this very, very strong chemistry together, we're still allowed to think individually. Every single one of us on this team has their own unique way of thinking and way of doing things that just brings this. I can think of no better word for it than spice to this team that I just love.
Yeah, I'd say the people on this team are great. Like the mentors, they always help me out whenever I don't understand anything. So it's my first year on the team. And all the seniors have just been really nice and open to new ideas. Whereas in the past, like some of the, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, I don't know what I'm thinking.
People
Sorry.
you've dealt with before haven't been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. The way this team interacts is so different from any other team I've been on. It's like, I don't know, we just work so well together. There's no drama or anything. Like we all just work together. We do well together. We all fail together. Yeah, we all grow together, and I think that's really fun.
And taking that encouragingness to the competitions, it's amazing to see how we cheer on our drive team on the field and being so engaged in the competition and seeing how well we can move up.
I've been to the RIT competition, and that's a huge event. I mean, that's a pretty intense event, and with so many teams and so many spectators, it's very cool, just the amount of enthusiasm. It's like a combination rock concert and large athletic event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
I'm
nothing,
still, yeah,
there's
go
nothing
ahead.
quite like hearing 50 teams all cheering for red or blue all at once.
Right. Right. It's definitely awesome. I can't imagine what the world's is like, in terms of the enthusiasm there. So we certainly want you to do well and do your best, and hopefully we can get to that at some point, whether it's this year or future years. I know we're working really hard with Mark and his and the other advisors around trying to get you some practice space on a consistent basis. What has practice been like? And you're doing it in the high school, right?
Um,
How tough is that?
so we have used the atrium area where it's carpeted. And so software usually tests the robot there for moving around the robot, but definitely is not the biggest space to see the best results.
For those of you without reference, our typical playing field is 60 by 30 feet, which is approximately half the size of a basketball court.
Right. So the good news is and you probably know this already. So we have 6 school districts interested in sharing some space to practice.
Mhm.
6 of yeah. So we got was it Palmac, Penfield, Fairport, us. How many is that? And then we got Pittsford and somebody else, Webster. So we're working really hard with your advisors and their advisors to try to find a spot that we can rent, and hopefully, I thought we had a couple different leads. We were close, but we still got many options. So we're going to continue to work on that, because my goal as superintendent is to work with all of you to get your own space, so that you can practice in the right setting, and we think that with 5 or 6 school districts, you can certainly do that. So, in closing with all of you, because you're busy and you guys are going to be here till at least 9 o'clock practicing. So, why don't you go around? And the last question is one I ask everybody who comes on the town hall, and that's maybe give a shout out to one adult in Victor. Could be somebody, could be anybody that's made a huge impact on you and made a difference in your life. And it could be somebody from elementary school, junior high or the high school, but just give a shout out to one person that, you're never going to forget and that has really done a great job impacting you in your life. And you can go in any order you want.
Okay, I would like to give my shout out to Bentor on the robotics team. Um, he has taught me so much about manufacturing. He taught me how to weld. And I think that's truly helped me decide what I'd like to do, like in college and in the future. And so I really appreciate that. So thank you, Bentor.
Who is it?
His his name is Ben, but we have a couple of Bens on the team. So since he's a mentor, we call him Bentor, like Ben and mentor.
Pretty cool. So you call him Bentor?
Bentor, yeah.
Awesome. And he comes in, is he there often to try to help you guys?
Yes.
Great. Thanks, Maddie. And Maddie, what are you doing next year? Have you figured that? No pressure, but have you figured out what you're doing next year yet?
Yes. I'm going to college for mechanical engineering. I haven't decided where yet, still waiting to hear back.
That's amazing. Mechanical engineering. I might have talked to you about this actually. But it's a challenging field, but it's so important. And it's great that you're going to challenge yourself with that. And there's so many opportunities in it. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I'd say Mr. Fleckenstein on the robotics team. He's been a great mentor to me. He taught me how to cut wood in the wood shop the other day. I had no interest in taking a construction or wood shop elective at school, but because of the way he taught me and how much I enjoyed it, I think I might junior year, senior year, five room.
Great, Tejas. And I'm so glad you decided to come out for the team. Because in a couple of years, you're going to be one of the big leaders. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I'm going to give my shout out to Mr. Marchetti. He is the software mentor for our team. He's a professional software engineer, and he has donated a lot of his time to this team, even when he doesn't have his own children here anymore. He has guided me these 3 years through software development practices and just general code design. He's been more than my mentor. He's been my friend.
He's a Xander, he's a software engineer.
Yes.
That's fantastic. All right. And what are you up to next year?
I'm going to be studying computer science, but I'm not sure where yet. I'm still waiting to hear back.
Now, you're not too tense about where you're going to go yet. I think it's pretty cool that you don't know exactly where you're going to be yet, but you know exactly what you want to do, at least at this point.
Yeah, well, I found computer science my freshman year, and ever since I've been hooked, and I know that's my passion.
Do you ever work with Mr. Wiest?
Yes, I was just talking to him earlier today.
Yeah, he's a great teacher, so that's awesome. Who's next?
So I'd like to give my shout out to Mr. Neri. Like Bentor, he does a lot of manufacturing stuff for the team, and he taught me how to use our milling machines and just manufacturing strategies in general. And something that always stuck out to me about him is that he was a very student-led mentor. He would help us in I can't really describe it, but he would help us when we needed help, but he knew that we were competent enough to do things, and I really respect that sort of laissez-faire but still very reasonable mindset that he always had.
And can you say his name one more time?
Mr. Nary, spelled Nary.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you.
I think I'm gonna have to give my shout out to Dr. Tim Terranova, the county superintendent of Victor Central Schools. Hopefully he's watching this, but Victor is a really great place to go to school. I love it here. I think everybody else loves it here too. And he's doing a really great job of keeping everything moving.
Kyle, what do you need? Just kidding. That's very nice, but I have very little to do with it. So, but thank you. You're only a sophomore too, right?
Yep.
That's great. Kyle, you haven't gone yet, right?
No, not yet. So my shout out is to a mentor named Mr. Reisnader. He has helped me with a lot of skills for computer aided design. And I started off with the DDP course freshman year, and he has helped me develop my skills since then on the team. And it's helped me prove my abilities to be the leader of the CAD team.
That's awesome. You're the leader of the CAD team. So is that the, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but is that the area you're going into after this year to study or not?
No, so, I'm going into a major of computer science, but I will probably broaden my view just to learn a lot of different skills with computer science.
Paul, you know where you're going yet? Or are you still like the others trying to figure that out, waiting for people to get back to you?
Yep, same thing.
Okay. Don't put too much pressure, right? Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Did everybody go?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on. I know you're extremely busy young adults, not just with school, but with robotics, with families, with friends. You got a ton of stuff going on. So just to give a few minutes of your time for this is great. As you know, we're huge in Victor. We're a huge supporter of robotics. Really appreciate. Big shout out to Mr. Guidanson. I call him Mark. So how do you pronounce is it Guidanson? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Both him and his wife and all the mentors and all the advisors. I know they put a ton of time into this, and it's just one of the great programs that we have at Victor that we would never ever diminish. Or our job is to keep making it bigger and keep growing. And like I said, get you guys some practice space so you can use it consistently. So thank you very much for coming on, and have a great night. Okay.
Thank
We're
you
gonna-
so much.
Thank you. We're gonna switch over to some of our student athletes now. And again, a big thank you to all the students in robotics. I got Lauren, Vanessa, and Andrew, I hope is coming on. They're, oh, maybe not, maybe, oh no, it is Andrew. It just has, we'll see who's on. As they get connected to Zoom, the reason I brought them on is I know Mr. Weimer, our Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics, had a group of our student athletes go to a workshop on leadership. And I thought it was really cool, really interesting. And I wanted to get a representative of the group to come on and just talk a little bit about it tonight. So that's where we are. So if you guys could see if your video works on Zoom, and then click off your, there we go. All right, there's Lauren. Andrew's using his sisters. That's okay. And Vanessa, I just saw you shoot pretty well last night.
Yeah,
Nice job.
thank you.
All right, so each of you introduce yourselves. You might as well go first, Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa Chumacero, 10th grade.
And what sports do you play?
Soccer and basketball.
Soccer and basketball. Right now, you are a 10th grader on the 8th ranked state girls basketball team, I believe.
Yeah.
They might go higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Lauren, introduce yourself.
I'm Lauren. I'm a junior. I do soccer and indoor and outdoor track and field.
Indoor. And what events are you doing in indoor, Lauren?
I've been doing hurdles, jumps, and sprints.
All the ones that takes a ton of coordination, Lauren.
Yeah.
All right. And Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Tell
course.
everybody a little bit about you.
So hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a junior. I play football and then I run indoor and outdoor track.
And what events are you doing indoor right now?
Right now I'm actually hurt, but normally I would be doing a lot of hurdles, some sprint work, and some jumps.
Your hamstring.
Yep.
Right? You got to rest a hamstring. That's what I know. How long?
Yeah.
How long you been dealing with it?
Pretty much since the start of the season, it's just been an on-off issue. So I've just tried to find other ways to be there for the team because I know I can't compete for myself right now.
That's awesome. That's a great attitude. All right. So who wants to start? Just again, I won't keep you long because again, just like with the robotics team, you guys are amazingly busy. Talk a little bit about the, what was a workshop you went to? And each of you could talk a little bit about it. Who wants to go first? Just kind of explain what it was and what you did there.
I can start. So we went to a student athlete leadership training conference slash like workshop, and we basically just talked about certain things to like connect over our sports and different activities we're in our lives in high school.
How many kids went from Victor?
5.
Hmm?
I think 5.
All right,
5,
so it
yeah.
wasn't like 30 or 40 kids.
No.
And then it was schools from all over the area?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Vanessa or Andrew, what else? So what did you do there?
So we got to like talk to a bunch of people from other schools, and there was a guest speaker, Eric, and he basically said like was talking about how like we can like connect with our from our struggles, you know, like they have this motto like same here. So basically just like connecting with each other.
What's the motto again?
Hashtag same here.
Okay. How many kids total were at this thing, roughly?
Um a lot. I'm not
Yeah,
really
I
sure
couldn't
how
tell you
many.
exact.
You're
Yeah.
talking like over like 50?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. So did you get to know, Andrew, did you get to know some people, meet some people that obviously you had met before?
Oh yeah, for sure. We actually did a like school and school different activity. So to apply some of the stuff that they talked about opening up to other people, because as athletes, we go through a lot of the similar struggles, but we just don't really talk about it to other people. So the fact that we got to open up for Victor, we were with Pelmac. We got to open up and talk to them about some things that we've struggled with in our life as athletes. And they also opened up to us. I think that even just that small moment created a good bond between the individuals that were there that day.
That's awesome. How long, was it a half day or a full day?
Full
Full
day.
day.
Full day. And who, did Mr. Weimer approach each of you about going to this, or your coach did? How did you find out about it, and how were you selected?
Mr. Weimer called us down and we got like a pamphlet with everything in it.
Great. All right, so talk a little more about each of your sports that you do, and then maybe since the part of the conference was on dealing with challenges and struggles, maybe talk just a little bit about what challenges are, you've had to face in your athletic career. So who wants to go first?
I can start this one. I think that coming from a perspective like mine, and I think Andrew can relate to this, is we do a very heavy team sport, which I do soccer in the fall, and then go over to a very individual sport, but are still part of a team. So I think it's important to be able to like be there for your team and create a more family environment and show that you're going through the same things in your sports, even if not everybody's talking about it, and make it known that it's okay to talk about the things you're going through.
That's awesome because, as you said, soccer obviously is extremely team oriented.
Yeah.
And you had a very, very competitive team this year as a
Yeah.
junior. And then indoor and outdoor is more individual, right? Are you going to do outdoor too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's more individual, but it's still a team at the same time.
Mhm.
Vanessa, what do you think in terms of lessons? Like you said, you're playing basketball. What you played? What you play before basketball?
Soccer.
Soccer. So, and you've been kind of a younger grade up, at least in basketball, which is always a challenge. What have you learned through sports, and what's a challenge that you faced?
Well, I think like I've learned to like work together with others because sometimes in sports when like other people are making mistakes and everything, you gotta learn how to like work together and everything. So that's what I've learned.
How hard is it? And I think all of you have probably, because you're all in team sports and individual sports. So how hard is it when you don't get your own way, or not maybe playing as much as you want, or um, you have a rough time, a rough game? How do you deal with stuff like that?
I think you just need to keep working harder and bounce back from it. And just try to keep getting better.
Great, great attitude, Vanessa. Andrew, talk about you. Obviously, you're dealing with the challenge right now. Would that be your toughest one, or did you have others in terms of all the different sports you play and what you do?
I mean, yeah, this is definitely a lot right now, especially with track, because this is like probably my main sport. And I really like put a lot of time and effort into this. And to have it kind of not go as planned definitely sucks. But you just gotta have two mindsets with it. You can either go into it and get really down on yourself, or you can go into it looking for the next step, looking for the next way to get better. Like at least for me personally right now, I'm trying to do whatever I can to still better myself, even though I can't compete the way that I want to. Whether that means rehabbing or lifting or just trying to stay in shape so I can help my team as best I can when I can get back and be healthy.
Were you able to kind of take that awesome attitude, that leadership, and express that a little bit at this conference towards other people?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think that was one of my goals going in is to be able to like express my attitude towards that. And I think the other good thing is seeing other kids having that attitude. Because obviously not all athletes are going to have that, but seeing that other people can have that same uplifting, positive outlook towards some not so great moments, like really can give you more perspective.
And you've been around some kids who are a little older than you over the last few years that have dealt with injuries like yours or more serious injuries that I've seen as a superintendent, and they've had amazing attitudes as well. You know, I'm thinking of Cam, who you played football with, and he's still dealing with that, and a lot of different kids who have dealt with some major injuries. But it's amazing to see their positive attitude, even though it is very frustrating, and how they put the team first. So I think you've had some really good role models in that too, and I think you're being a role model for others. And you're a
Yeah, I
junior.
agree. I think those guys have had a big influence on me.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so a couple more questions, and I'm going to let you go. One is, how has athletics influenced or supported you in terms of school and your goals moving forward in school? Like, how has it helped? And maybe how has it helped? And what's one little challenge that you faced by spending so much time in your craft and athletics, but you also have to focus on school?
Yeah, I can start with this one. Honestly, I think the hardest thing is just finding that balance because it's so easy when you're in a sports season just get like hyper focused on it and just kind of try to put school in the back burner. But you have to understand that that's not really how it works. You got to give it like you got to give both equal amounts of attention. And I think that's really hard. But once you find ways and find people to make that a reality, it becomes a lot easier. For me, it's finding teachers and finding friends that are going to keep me motivated and keep me on the right track.
Great. Who wants to go?
I can go. I was just gonna say that like participating in sports, it's obviously very difficult to manage school and athletics, but I also think it helps you learn how to deal with certain situations, especially if you're in sports early on. It just kind of gives you a different approach towards like difficulties and challenges. And it also, like we've talked about, I think it's important to be in sports because it, no matter if you're best friends with them or not, it gives you a group of people that you're around that are your teammates that should be there to support you and should be there to motivate you. So I think that school and sports do go very hand in hand.
Thanks, Lauren. Vanessa, what do you think?
Going along with Lauren, like you meet like a lot of people when you're playing sports and you make a lot of connections with others and you make new friends. So I think that helps in school because you have those friends in school already, and it's also easier to talk to others too.
Yeah, so it's a way to meet other people, build relationships with people you might not in if you didn't do it. And then it does help you meet people as you go through life. Plus just the teamwork, right? I mean, just being teammates and having a common goal with everybody, that's huge and it does motivate you. All right, so the last thing before we get going here is I just did it with the robotics, the kids of the robotics, but it's something I ask everybody who comes on the town halls, which is uh, give a shout out to an adult in school. Could be a high school staff member, could be somebody all the way back to your elementary grades or junior high. But give a shout out to an adult who's made a great impact on your life and is somebody you're gonna definitely remember for the rest of your life and has just been somebody who has made a difference for you.
I can go first with this one. My basketball coach, Coach Zahn, she's always pushing us to be our best selves on and off the court and always pushing us to improve.
And now, how long is this your second year with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. She's fantastic. And she's working for us at the early childhood school.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go visit her with the little kids if you want.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Thanks, Vanessa.
I can go. One person that I look to for support is Mrs. Stoutenberg. She's a teacher in high school, and I will have had her 3 out of the 4 years of high school by the time I graduate with a class. And I feel very supported by her, very heard by her. I think I can go talk to her, and she has high school daughters who are in athletics, so I can talk to her about those things too. And I think she just is always there.
So not only does she make a big connection to you, plus the fact she's got daughters your age, she's a heck of a teacher too.
Yes, she's incredible.
So she combines being really great at what she does with being able to build strong relationships. And that's amazing. And you're going to have her for 3 out of your 4 years?
Yeah, so I had her freshman year for Regents biology, and then I had her for a half-year science course anatomy this year, and I'm taking microbiology with her next year.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Andrew, how about you, my friend?
So I'd like to thank my AP Pre-Calc teacher, Mrs. Murgis. This year, especially with like the hamstring stuff, I've had to miss classes to go to PT and like do some rehab stuff. And she's made sure to help me stay on top of things, like by giving me times to meet with her and giving me like very lenient, like in terms of helping me, making sure I understand the content. And also not just that, but also making sure I'm okay. So not just trying to keep me on track and on pace as a student, but also showing genuine concern about how I am and how things are going outside of school.
Kind of a theme with the three of you, with the adults you chose, right? People who care about you as people, treat you with dignity and respect. They don't treat you like a kid. They treat you as somebody who really has their own viewpoint, as somebody that's special, and then is excellent at their job and goes above and beyond. So Mrs. Murgis is an amazing person. I've known her for a little while, and I think she's just great at what she does. And so, what a great choice. So, listen, the three of you, I really appreciate you coming on. I think there's a reason Mr. Weimer picked just a small, it was a small group. I know we have a lot of athletic leaders in athletics, but he picked 5 to 7 of you, and there's a reason for that. And none of you are seniors, which is even more amazing, right? We got a sophomore and 2 juniors. And that means that your best leadership is still ahead of you when you become senior. So you're truly student leaders. I really thank you for everything you do. And I know no matter what happens, you're going to be good days and bad days. You're gonna have a positive attitude, and you're going to be extremely successful as you go through life. So it's great to have you on. I hope to have each of you on again at some point before you graduate. And thanks for taking the time. Okay.
Thank
Have
you.
Thank you.
a great
Thank
night.
You too.
All right. All right. As Lauren and Vanessa and Andrew take off, I'm just going to give a couple announcements real quick. Again, a big thank you to all the students that came out. What a great representation of student leadership in our district. But just some points of information. So we are beginning our second semester at the high school and junior high level this week. It's amazing that half the year has gone by, but it is. And now we're in the most exciting part of the second half of the year. There's some big initiatives coming up at the district level. I just want to give a mention to. First of all, we are continuing. We're going to work on our mission and vision as a district. Lots of people talk about mission statements and vision statements. We have one from a few years ago, but since we just recently, at least a year and a half ago, finished our strategic plan, we want to make sure, as part of the strategic plan, we wanted to take another look at our mission and vision. So we're going to get significant community input on this, and it's going to take place, this work, between really February and July. But you're going to hear a lot about mission and vision work. We're going to have a ton of community and staff and student feedback on it. And we hope to have a revised mission and vision which really is tells us exactly where we need to go as a district by the summer. And then that will help drive the rest of our strategic 5-year strategic plan and strategic plans in the future from there. So we'll have a lot more information on that. We are just finishing, I don't know if you remember, we've talked a lot about our diversity, equity, and inclusion group that's been working for over a year and a half on creating a DEI plan. And this DEI plan is very close to being finished. We're actually running it by some staff member groups now. But then we're going to share it publicly in March. We're going to share it more with the entire staff in February, and then with the community in March. And what I love about this plan is it's tied directly to our strategic plan. Our strategic plan and our management plans are focused on culture, learning and instruction, and student supports and opportunities. The DEI plan was formed to create recommendations that connect the strategic plan focus areas to the goal of cultivating a sense of belonging for all. And that would be including inclusion. And belonging doesn't mean just being there. Belonging means people have a voice, all people, regardless of the subgroups or groups they belong to. We'll accomplish this goal by ensuring that everyone has equal opportunities and access, which is true equity, as well as making sure that we send a strong message and learning around the idea that people need to see differences as strengths, not weaknesses or threats. So really impressed with the contents of our DEI plan. We're going to be sharing that again with staff through the next few weeks, and then certainly with the community once we hit March. And it'll be integrated in our management plan, especially for 24, 25. So it's not a separate thing. It's going to be part of our aligned management plan, which is aligned to our strategic plan. And then we also have, it's that time of year where our budget process is starting. So the 24, 25 budget is in its infancy. We're working through that. We already have multiple presentations on the budget that you can find on our website, www.victor.org. If you go on there, go on to the budget 24, 25, you'll be able to see the presentations. We're going to have a lot more information on that moving through the next few months. The vote will be in May. And then in addition to that, we also have a capital project that's upcoming. We anticipate that capital project will be finalized in terms of its details this spring. And then we would bring it to the board through multiple presentations in April and May. The board would vote on the capital project in May, which would then, if they approve it, would send it to the community for a vote in July. So we have a budget vote in May for the 24-25 budget, and then a capital project vote this July. We are going to be as transparent as possible around both because we believe that we need to share out information, share everything, share the reasoning why we're spending the money on what we're spending, answer questions, get feedback, so that there's no excuses in terms of everyone understanding what we're doing, why we're doing it, how much it costs, and again, being able to give feedback around it before the community votes on it. So we're going to be using these town halls towards the end of the spring to really focus on that as well. And then lastly, just a shout out that tomorrow is February 1st. It starts Black History Month, which is a time to honor the contributions and legacy of African Americans across U.S. history and society, from activists and civil rights pioneers to leaders in industry, politics, science, culture, and more. The 2024 theme for Black History Month is African Americans and the Arts, which explores key influence that African Americans have had in the fields of visual and performing arts, literature, fashion, folklore, language, film, music, architecture, culinary, and other forms of cultural expression. There's thousands of examples of African Americans and their contributions to so many things. And this year's focus for Black History Month will be African Americans in the arts. And I know all 5 of our schools will be doing many different things to honor Black History Month and to teach our kids the value of African Americans, and not only our pioneers that were leaders in our country, but the modern day leaders and entrepreneurs now today. So we're looking forward to that learning through the month of February. I'll be back on towards the end of February with the next town hall. As always, if you have questions or comments, just give me a call or email me. Stay in touch and let us know how we're doing. So have a great rest of the evening, a great January, and take care of yourselves.